guys, weekend energy update. We got a lot to talk about this weekend, especially in the context of what is setting up next week. If you guys have been following along with my channel, I've been talking about how this week actually has felt sort of like, at least on an energetic level, like being a bit in the eye of the storm. We have been navigating some very rough waters over the course of this past week or so, and next week we are moving into some more of this like dynamic intensity brought to us by various planetary things going on. But this weekend things are a bit more mild. I will say the energy of Sunday, just to kind of preface things, if you feel like you've had enough, if you feel like you've come to the end, nothing's ever going to change, nothing's ever going to work out, just kind of like quitting or throwing in the towel in some way, don't lose faith, don't lose hope. This energy will pass. This is only momentary. By the time actually that we get through this next couple of days, there are going to be some radical shifts and changes going on, things happening in ways that perhaps we couldn't have expected or anticipated. Good news, positive opportunities coming out of nowhere. I'm telling you, how things are and appear this weekend is not how they're going to be and appear as we move through the energy of next week. So if there is this generalized sense of discouragement or disappointment or just feeling like everything is a mess and falling apart and an utter failure right now, don't attach to that. That is definitely going to be undergoing some type of realignment or change or something as we move into the energy of next week. It could be kind of a weird weekend. We've got the moon transiting Aquarius Friday and Saturday. There is a Venus-Neptune square that we need to talk about that could be adding to this perhaps contrast between like the ideal or the vision or what we thought something could be or was and what we're coming to discover it actually is. More of this like illusion breaking down type of energy going on as well. We've got a lot to talk about, you guys. Let's get into this report, put it all together, see where we're at, see where we're going, how things are looking like, what they're looking like as we do move through the weekend, and how they seem to be setting themselves up as we prepare to encounter the energy of next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, November 8th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we are going to talk about the energy that we have coming together this weekend, how it's setting itself up for us, what perhaps we can expect as a result of that, and also what things are looking like for us as we head into the energy of next week, which is going to be another quite intense week. We've got a lot that we're heading into next week. There's going to be a very strong Saturn element of things. Again, there's going to be a very strong Pluto element of things. There's going to be a very strong Uranian element of things, and also Mercury and Jupiter are going to be in an opposition. So I want to say up front, you guys, like, and it's interesting because I'm wanting to like jump into this report and immediately start talking about the energy of next week. And the energy actually that we have going on Friday and Saturday is also kind of like gearing us more towards the future and where we're going and what we're doing next. So I guess the way that I'm starting this report is somewhat mirroring the way that energy might be functioning and the way that we might actually be feeling Friday and Saturday. There is, like I said, this like future oriented kind of like encouraged about the direction that we're heading, I guess we could say, vibe going on Friday and Saturday, and we'll get there because first in this moment I want to get back to the future that I'm kind of orienting us towards now, where we're going as we get through the weekend and do head towards next week. We've got all of this energy that is really suggesting some pretty significant like shifts and like plot twists and things just changing on a dime and not being the way they were as we are moving through the energy on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So there's going to be some like unexpected, unpredictable turns of events going on next week and moving into the week after that as well. Actually, you know, this next couple of weeks, I would say the next 2-3 weeks is likely to be very Uranian in its nature, because we do have this full moon that is setting up and it's going to be in a conjunction to Uranus. The sun is going to be in an opposition to Uranus. That full moon being in the conjunction to Uranus is going to be like pretty much active for the 2 weeks following the full moon as well. So it's tower season, you guys. Lightning striking the tower, shocks and surprises, expect the unexpected. That's where we're heading as we move into the energy of next week. So that's the future direction that is, you know, we're being pulled towards and we're being oriented towards, and that we may really be kind of picking up on and focused on in the energy of Friday and Saturday this weekend. However, I kind of also want to get this report started with saying this in case some of you don't make it all the way through with me. But Sunday, as we move into the energy of Sunday, there could be a vibe shift to the more pessimistic end of things. We could just be kind of feeling over it, like we've come to the end of the road, maybe like throwing in the towel a little bit, nothing more to give, kind of like we've hit a wall and we're just done, kind of like ready to like quit, wash our hands of the whole situation type of thing. But I want to tell you, no matter how bleak things may appear to be, just from our perspective or the apparent reality that we've got going on Sunday, these things are going to shift and change. This is really like this too shall pass energy that we've got going on Sunday. It may be kind of just like a struggle to get through. We may really have to consciously practice our adherence to our faith on Sunday, like real like tests of our faith, tests of our patience and our will to, you know, live to fight another day could be going on in the energy of Sunday. It could feel like everything's falling apart, like we're just ready to surrender, give in and give up. But telling you guys, don't do that. Don't give up. Don't run away from everything. Don't, you know, feel like you've just gotta give it all away, because things are going to, again, shift radically. We've got major energetic shifts and activations that are coming in just a couple of days following this that are going to be reinvigorating us, lifting our spirits, bringing some good news, powerful transformations, sudden unexpected turns of events. Like it's miracle season that we are moving towards. So no matter how bleak it looks in the energy on Sunday or moving through the weekend, or how discouraged or dissatisfied or how separated we seem to be our reality from our vision or our ideal or what we really feel like we deserve or want or yearn for or wish to create, things are going to change in ways at this moment that we cannot anticipate, expect, or predict. So hold on tight to the faith, you guys. It's going to be a wild ride over this next couple of weeks. Things are not going to be the way they are now come, you know, even December perhaps. So all that being said, now let's get more specifically into our report. We do have some more like mild energy going on this weekend. I've been saying, you know, we're in the eye of the storm. We haven't had these back-to-back transits happening this week to the same level that we had this preceding week, and we will in this week to come, coming up now. We've been in some choppy waters, and we are definitely moving into the rapids, I would say, following this weekend. I keep using these water references because we're in Scorpio season, so I feel like it's very fitting. And with this Uranian Taurus full moon, which is the full moon in Scorpio season, because it's the moon in Taurus opposes the sun in Scorpio. So every Scorpio season, we have a Taurus full moon, and this year with it being in the conjunction to Uranus as well, that is also like the storm, okay? Uranus being the lightning planet and bringing stuff to do with that, and Scorpio, you know, being these like deep churning ocean waters. So all of those things, references coming together, I just feel like water references are appropriate, describing the way that energy is flowing right now. So I'm using a lot of them, and I probably will be over this next couple of days. But anyways, let's talk specifically about Friday, where we are to start the weekend and sort of the progression of things as we move through the weekend and do prepare to set up for our week of Saturn stationing direct, Mercury opposite Jupiter. We've got this full moon coming in as well. Pluto actually won't be entering Aquarius until the 18th, which is a week from Monday. So not this week. That will actually be what we move into in the energy as it comes in and hits us first thing next week. But it's still like we're still probably going to be feeling the gravity of that energy because it is so powerful as it is preparing to happen. So anyways, next week we've got a bunch of big stuff going on. This weekend on Friday, the day could honestly get off to a bit of a bumpy start. If you guys watched the last video, I was talking about on Thursday, how on Thursday, which would have been the day before this video, because this is for Friday, November 8th. So on November 7th, there was the Pluto moon conjunction in the sign of Capricorn at 29 degrees. This was the last time the moon will conjoin Pluto in the sign of Capricorn for 250 years. So this was like a big ending, like a big emotional release, emotional transformation, culmination point. You may have experienced some very like deeply churning or transformative emotions, or some emotional purging, or some like emotional overwhelm, or just some powerful emotions or something like that over this past couple of days, this past week or so, but specifically in the energy of yesterday, as the moon ruling our emotions aligned with Pluto for the very last time in the sign of Capricorn. There could have been something like that hit you on a deep emotional level regarding the period of time between, or like something that happened on or around beginning in 2008 as well, because that was when this transit actually began. So things coming to an end that have been ongoing perhaps since 2008, or just a point of major emotional release coming through as we prepared to head into this weekend on Thursday. And then as we do hit the energy of Friday, the moon leaves the sign of Capricorn. That transit is over. Not going to be any more moon Pluto conjunction in Capricorn for a long time, but the moon comes into Aquarius and immediately hits an opposition to Mars in the sign of Leo. This is like short temper, just a feeling of internal angst, like anger issues could be going on, and we may just kind of wake up on the wrong side of the bed and not be in the most chipper mood to start the day on Friday, because this moon Mars opposition could just have us a little irritated about something. Okay, so we could be waking up, there could be like bad dreams going on, or we could just feel like irritated or angry in general, like I said, sort of just like stepping out of the bed in the morning. But this should pass. It shouldn't be like an energy that really like lingers with us, because of the nature of the Aquarian moon going on, as well as we progress through the day. There's probably just some random things that are happening that kind of like shift our focus or attention in a way that allows us to step away from whatever it was that maybe had us in a bit of a tizzy at the beginning of the day. So I don't think our whole day is going to be consumed by maybe whatever is bothering us to start the day. And it does feel like overall kind of a pretty decent weekend, at least until we get into the energy of Sunday and the moon moves into Pisces and comes into the conjunction with Saturn retrograde, who is gaining strength right now and preparing to station on the 15th, actually moving into next week again. Here I am going into the future. Saturn is going to be stationing direct on the 15th, and that's one reason why Sunday could be kind of like a downer. We've got the moon Saturn conjunction while Saturn is still retrograde but preparing to station. Could be a bit foreshadowing what's to come in the next week as well. Like there could be like this sense of kind of like impending doom, or just like overwhelm, or like I don't know, issues with control or lack of control, feeling totally out of control, stuff along those lines. We'll talk a bit more about it as we get through the report, but that could be sort of where we're like, what we're just kind of experiencing, especially on a more internalized level on Sunday. But Friday and Saturday, with the moon transiting the sign of Aquarius, the moon will be coming into a trine with Jupiter, a sextile to Mercury, sextile to Venus. Like this is a generally more upbeat, encouraged energy, kind of maybe some high hopes, some good spirits. It also could bring the sense of disillusionment though, or disappointment with things, specifically people, and perhaps like because we're realizing that things are falling short of what we thought they were, our ideal, our vision, our expectation of them. It's sort of this weird dynamic that we've got going on Friday and Saturday. Like, although on one hand, there is this sense of like optimism or encouragement towards where we're going, what things seem to be turning themselves into, maybe like what's coming next, maybe like more positively oriented in terms of the future or the next step. There's also this sense of discouragement. Like there's encouragement and discouragement kind of happening at the same time, but it's like discouragement about maybe the space or the variance or the range or the contrast between this vision or this image that we hold of where we're going and what the actual reality is, where we're at now, and what like needs to be done in order to bridge that gap and actually get there to the goal or the vision. We've got to talk about Venus in a square to Neptune. Venus and Neptune together, on one hand, like Neptune is higher octave Venus energy, and when these two planets are working together, especially in maybe like a trine or conjunction or just a more positively oriented way, this is a very like divinely inspired creative energy. Even when we've got the square going on, like if you're artistically inclined or creatively inclined in any type of way, there can be some like true divine inspiration that comes through here, but we've really got to be careful with this energy. This is not good commitment energy. This is not good investment energy. This is not good energy to try to like solidify a relationship of any kind. Things are not based in reality when we've got a Venus Neptune square going on. Like there's a level of projection, there's a level of illusion. This aspect in transit to me actually like makes me think of the scenarios and experiences that we've all had where like you see a picture of something, or you see a commercial about something, or you know, you see like someone describe something to you, and then it looks so good or so appealing or so fun, or it sounds so amazing that you just have to try it for yourself. You have to go get it. You go spend your money on it. You get it. You're holding it in your hand. Like you go to take a bite, or you unwrap it, or you step outside of the plane, or whatever you're doing. And like you come to realize that that picture, that ad, that description of it, whatever, is like actually not what the thing that you are holding in your hand or witnessing it with your eyes right now really is. It's like it looked so good, but when you actually get it and take it out of the package, we realize that, it's not what it looked like when we thought that we so badly wanted it. And so we're kind of like reconsidering whether we actually want this thing in the first place. So there's like could be a level of buyer's remorse, I would say, that can come with this energy. Things can kind of like fall apart. This is also energy that like breaks down relationships or connections, but it's always for the best, because the reason why these things are breaking down in this energy is because they were not based in some level of reality, and so they were actually never real in some regard anyways. So it's honestly best that they make their way out right now, especially when energy is so oriented around releasing essentially us from anything that is blocking an alignment with like our authentic truth and our process to authentic growth right now, activating some purpose or destiny that universe desires of us or has in store for us to play some role in some bigger unfolding picture or story that's going on right now as we're going through this transition and shift of the ages. Over time, over this next 20 years, we're probably all going to find ourselves walking some path or having some experience that relates to the concept of self-actualization, because we really are kind of like being cosmically mandated to, in some capacity, anchor this new age that's gonna unfold over the next 2,000 years into our reality right now. We're at a bridge time where we are going through some very, very condensed changes, microcosm, macrocosm, body, mind, spirit, that are going to act as like the fundamental foundation of this incoming age of Aquarius that will build on the major transformations that are happening now, again, within ourselves, the way that we are using our own mind and our own energy and what we're building and creating, and also the greater power shifts and changes that are happening on the world stage and macrocosm level around us. This is a very important, significant period of time right now on an energetic, like larger cosmic blueprint type of level, just because of, again, like these condensed changes that are taking place as a result of the way that things are unfolding themselves at this period of time. And as a result of that, a lot of people, between now and December, a lot of people are probably going to find themselves having changed dramatically, especially in terms of like preferences, values, desires, and the sense of personal self-empowerment that is going to be kind of taking all of us over and having us reorient ourselves and the direction and the way that we're using and focusing our energy moving forward. Again, it's also going to be removing us and detaching us from a lot that has encompassed and characterized our lives up until this point in time. So definitely big changes coming, and this sense of disillusionment or disappointment with things, and as you know, I mentioned specifically people, and the gap between the space between what we're coming to feel like we really want and deserve for ourselves, and maybe what it is that we have and what this thing that we have is ever going to give us. That type of thing is also going to be playing a role in the changes that are to come. It makes me feel like this weekend to me is kind of resonating to the energy associated with the Seven of Pentacles in the tarot, if you know that card, with the guy who's just sort of like looking at what he's been growing, like looking at the state of his harvest, kind of in a state of clear like disappointment with either how long things are taking, or like what things are growing into and what they're becoming, or what is not happening or not apparently happening at this point in time. But it's an energy that requires patience. And we need to understand, like, again, things truly are not what they seem right now. There is a galactic massive realignment, like, of the ages taking place, and we cannot get overly attached to the narrow focus perhaps on just what's not working or what seems impossible in this energy. As I said, we are moving to a time where truly like anything is possible, and miracles are going to be taking place in maybe some more prominent or like reoccurring ways than maybe we've experienced them before. And this is another thing that's going to be sort of restoring faith, even if at this point in time it really seems like all is lost. So even if it seems like all is lost, especially as we move into Sunday, remember, it's not. It really kind of is one of our tests right now to see if we can maintain our faith, maintain our vision, maintain our eye on the prize, even when it seems like everything around us, including every cell of and molecule of the reality, is telling us that we're a failure and that nothing is working and that things are not ever going to work out. That is the illusion in this energy, okay? The Piscean, Saturnian moon energy, that is the illusion, that's the projection, that is the fantasy, that is not the reality. And again, as we move into the energy of next week, we are going to regain control over things when Saturn stations direct. So don't despair, you guys. Don't lose hope. It's going to be okay. There's a huge level of like illusion that is still going on right now. We are in the very last couple of degree minutes of Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. The state of things is super in flux, and a lot of this energy, honestly, right now is about showing us what is not real. There are cracks in the illusion coming through here. Like this energy, again, that Venus-Neptune energy already on its own has a tendency of showing us the dichotomy between what we thought it was, the vision of it, the image of it, the projection of it, and the actual experience of it. And if there is like too big of a gap between those things, this Aquarius moon energy is gonna like stimulate some desire within us to do something different, to make a change. Because another thing that we have going on Friday, and I want to make sure that I say, is that Venus is going to be in exact conjunction with the galactic center. The galactic center obviously is associated with wisdom and truth and the life force energy. It's like the God source code point in the zodiac that resonates to galactic wisdom and galactic truth and like the higher everything. And when we've got Venus at that degree in the square to Neptune, we want more. We're yearning for more. Jupiter and Mercury also in an opposition, like we see the bigger picture, like we want more from life, like we want the truth, we want what's real, we want also like what's righteous and what's like in integrity. Like there is this desire and this yearning with Venus at the galactic center for divine alignment and like divine harmony and divine beauty and divine justice, like all of these Venus qualities and themes, but with the divinely oriented, like wisdom, life force, like God source code nature to them. So it's like the true goodness is what we're yearning after. And that square to Neptune, the illusion, the fantasy, the ideal, like where there is too great of a space or a gap between what is truly aligned with like our own higher nature, our own higher heart, and the perceived reality that we feel like we've got, like what it is that we've got, there's going to probably be this drive or this desire to make a change, do something different. A lot of people are really going to be feeling like they need to break from the status quo this weekend, especially on Saturday, because the moon transiting through the sign of Aquarius will square both the sun in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus, as they are also heading into opposition right now. So that energy is going to probably be like creating this like itch to do something different, to like get off the beaten path, like just break free from like the mundane monotony of things. People are going to be looking to like switch it up, to feel alive, to feel stimulated and excited, probably in the energy of Saturday. But and then again though, with this the Venus Neptune square also comes exact in the energy on Saturday. So wherever we can't do that, wherever we can't get into alignment with this desire to like free our heart and soul and like experience more and have more and align with what, you know, we feel like we're really worth, like be able to strive for and attain that, anything that is like blocking that or distance from that, or we're realizing like it does not measure up to that and is never going to become that, there's likely to be this like, we're going to drop it. You know what I mean? Like we're going to lose interest in it. We're not going to want to continue to feed our energy into it. And that's another thing that could be like leading to breakdowns in relationships, people breaking plans, like not showing up, canceling, trying to get out of situations as we move into the energy of Sunday. Right? Because we've got this Pisces situation with the moon and Saturn, and that is like not following through on our obligations, like canceling plans, deciding we need to like back out of something and just like escape from a situation. So, that is perhaps the direction that things are heading in as we go through the weekend, but it could be, it's bringing like reality check type of energy, I feel like, and we could be seeing people in situations for what they really are, detached from any illusions that we've been holding of them. With Venus at the galactic center squaring exactly also Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So truth versus illusion with that particular setup, right? We want truth. Venus at the galactic center squaring Neptune in Pisces, illusions, projections, narrative. Which narrative are we going to be embracing right now? People are going to be dropping the facade and really like gravitating towards that which is real, that which is authentic, that which is like not afraid to be itself. Okay. So this is another thing that is like making everything head in the direction of transparency, and it's the indications, it's like the foreshadowing of what's to come as Pluto prepares to enter the sign of Aquarius, because that is really going to empower the authentic nature of the individual as we bridge from this generation of Aquarius coming in right now into the greater age of Aquarius that we are also moving into. So, embracing change, embracing the future. This is where we are oriented as we head through Friday and Saturday. Maybe some anger issues to start the day on Friday, followed by, on one hand, believing that we really deserve it, and on the other hand, maybe having to deal with some discouragement, disappointment, lack of satisfaction in regards to how things appear to be in the moment. So essentially, to summarize, generally unsatisfied and wanting more, but also willing to make the change to get more, oriented towards this future potential and possibility, but also not super thrilled with how things appear to be going at the moment, which is probably the growing vibe as we do move into Sunday. Now, Saturday, again, this could be kind of an out of the box kind of day, something unusual or different, like craving something fresh maybe, or unique, or a sense of excitement. There could also be this level of fantasy or daydream or illusion going on Saturday. It could feel like a bit of a dream in the energy on Saturday, with the square with the sun and the moon and Mars, and also the Venus Neptune square going on as well. But this again is a day not to get too attached to whatever's going on, because there's definitely a level of like something not being real about this. Projections, narratives presented this weekend are probably not real and won't maintain themselves. Shocking exposures, revelations, and seeing the truth about things maybe that have been kind of like convoluted somehow in the past in a way that we couldn't really discern what was real and what was not. This could also be sort of an element to the way that all of this is playing itself together. And generally, again, like kind of just a weird weekend. People like suddenly changing on a dime how they feel about things, like radical changes of heart happening, strange behaviors, conversations, situations, sudden changes of plans, turns of events, like the bursting of bubbles also in kind of this collective way, like this like popping of the idealization or the illusion of something, but you know, that bringing us down to earth, maybe having to deal with like a level of depression or disappointment, or like just being over some things again, as I said. But things are going to really shift and change and sort themselves out in some unexpected ways next week. So, you know, as we move into Sunday, the moon does enter the sign of Pisces, like I said, come into the conjunction with Saturday. The mood might just be kind of glum, back to reality feelings, heavy feelings regarding to the, like in regards to the week ahead. Again, perhaps this feeling of like, oh, you know, I don't want to do it. I don't want to face it. I feel like it's going to be really hard. People could be detached, distanced, withdrawn, just pessimistic, negative, escapism, being like overly cold or overly controlling with the moon Saturn conjunction, or also just like projecting some like negativity somehow. Breakdowns and things and avoidance could also be an element of this. Abandonment and neglect. As I was mentioning, people much less likely to follow through on commitments as we get into the energy of Sunday. Cancellations, feelings of just like drowning in overwhelm, maybe responsibility, obligation, or the sense maybe things having gotten out of control somehow. Sunday is a good day to keep to yourself, work on what you have going on, like not bother others or, you know, get in other people's business too much. People are going through a lot right now, especially like inside themselves on an internalized level. You very well might be too. And it really is best for us to sort of like deal with our own issues, handle our own business in this energy, unless universe is like clearly calling you to intervene in some other situation somehow. We do want to kind of be more just like self-involved, I guess, in this energy. These internal struggles really should be between us and a higher power, us and God. So really that's where the energy is best positioned, our best use of the energy, unless otherwise guided. This next 2 weeks or so, though, I do think that they are going to be crazy. We do have this big energy coming in. Pluto about to enter Aquarius, Saturn about to station direct, the full moon in Taurus coming up, conjunct Uranus, right? Mercury and Jupiter in mutual reception, heading into opposition, the sun and Uranus heading into opposition, the sun and Mars in mutual reception. Of course, right now also Pluto still hanging out at that last couple of minutes of 29 degrees, and we just had the moon there also. Eye of the storm this week, you guys. Don't get yourself down. Don't be too overcritical. Don't be too hard on yourself. You know, it is not the end of the world, even if it appears to be. As we move into the energy of Sunday, we need to keep pushing forward. This energy will pass. Again, the illusion of weakness, the illusion of vulnerability, the illusion of failure, the illusion of loss. That's what we're looking at. Our challenge is to maintain the faith, keep moving forward, hold the vision, even if it seems like it's just pointless and, you know, it's a waste of our time and energy at this point of time. It's not. Mercury and Jupiter opposition incoming. This is massively going to lift our spirits, teach us something, good news, good luck, something positive happening coming up here soon. Saturn about to station direct. We are going to regain control over our emotions or over the situations or over our lives somehow. We're going to be able to get it together. The sun opposite Uranus. Plot twists are incoming. Sudden twists and turns of events are incoming. Things are going to change. So we're keeping the faith. We're not losing hope. Things are not as they seem in every sense of the word. Hold on tight. We are preparing to head back into these rapidly moving, turning waters that are going to put us actually, you know, where we need to be for some positive progress to take place, even if it doesn't appear that way on the surface, you guys. In terms of the Sabian symbols that we have going on right now, I want to talk about real quick the position of the sun at 18 degrees of Scorpio on Saturday. That Sabian symbol is a wood rich in autumn coloring. You guys know what time it is. It's the time of change. That's where we're at. That's what's going on. The position of the earth on Saturday, 18 Taurus, a woman airing an old bag through a sunny window, giving it fresh air and sunlight. Everything is getting fresh air and sunlight right now, you guys, especially the things that have been dark and clogged up and hidden and avoiding that light and that exposure for a long time. So things are getting aired out, things are coming to light. It may be leading to some impending change, some endings, but those endings are going to lead to new beginnings. We have the North Node right now at a square brightly lighted on one side. There are solutions inherent in all of the challenges presented right now. We just have to shift our perspective in a way that we can see the way out, okay? And the South Node at 6 degrees of Libra, a man watches his ideals taking a concrete form before his inner vision. Our mind is powerful right now, you guys, and it is going to become more and more powerful as we move forward into the ongoing future. We have to learn how to use our mind properly, frame things properly to manifest the best outcomes for ourselves. Manifestation energy is very powerful right now. Yeah, a lot of things are ending, they're falling away, but we are also in the emerging beginnings. We're laying these new foundations, and we are much more powerful creators than we know, and we're going to come to find that as we continue to move forward through this period of time, and especially once Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius, kicks us off on this 20-year Pluto Aquarius transit. So that's what I'm saying, you guys, for the astrology that we've got coming together for us this weekend. Don't let it get you down. Keep your focus on the future, on the potential. Don't lose faith in the potential for miracles and opportunities and strokes of luck and things to just sort of fall into place in a way that you couldn't have expected. Maintain a positive vision of things, like sort of at all costs, if by any chance you can help it. Do not attach to whatever version of reality appears to be happening around you if it's not in alignment with, you know, what you believe that it should be, because we are powerful creators and things are not as they seem right now. Definitely, you know, big things are changing, and this weekend is about testing our faith in a lot of ways. So I'm going to grab a synchronicity card now. Ask God, Spirit, Universe, what is one final piece of advice or guidance to help us on our way this weekend? What should we keep in mind? What should we tell ourselves? And our card says, stop, don't argue. So that is our advice for the weekend. Stop, don't argue. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Exodus 14:14. Don't fight or argue. Rest in the assurance God is working for you on this matter. Relax, let go, and know a divine solution takes place. Harmony will return. Behave now as if it is already before you. So really, you know, our guidance for the weekend to try our best not to overly attach to maybe the more negative skew on things, the more narrow-minded focus or perspective on what's not working, what's wrong. Again, like, God is working for you on this matter. A divine solution takes place. That is what is upcoming here. We need to do our best to try to keep our focus and our frame on what it is that we want to build, grow, and create, what we're becoming, and not allow ourselves to be perhaps consumed in just the more pessimistic distortion that is the prominent vibe, especially as we get to the energy on Sunday, and allow that to, you know, translate into a bad attitude that just has us sort of all going at each other, because that is the possibility as well. So stop, don't argue, you guys. That is our synchronicity advice message for the weekend. That's what I have to say for the report today, you guys. I hope you liked it. If you did like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, you guys. I appreciate you so much. I am so grateful for all of you out there, for your contributions to my channel, for being on this journey with me. I am truly like just so grateful for you guys being here and for everything that you have to say. I always want to know if you're having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos. That is very valuable to me. So if you are having things go on that mirror what I'm talking about, please let me know in my comment section below. If you want to know what's on this here whiteboard, I have a Facebook group where I post images of those linked in my description box below. Come back with me on Monday, you guys. We're heading back into I keep wanting to say stormy waters. We're heading back into just a bunch of energy, bunch of more dynamic and intense. Uranus, Pluto, Saturn. It's probably a pretty good description for those prominent themes that we've got coming in next week. So we're gonna have a lot more to talk about, and I'm gonna be here to do it, so you should be here too. You don't want to miss it, guys. I will see you next time. Have a really beautiful weekend. Don't argue. Remember, stop, don't argue. And until Monday. Bye, guys.